Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. I thought we would have a look at the April Fool's suggestions past the developers, just because it's a little bit of fun and I felt like it today. Sometimes you just gotta kick back, relax and chill, especially when it's event season with War Thunder, since there's a lot of stuff going around. Why not just, relax? And that's what we're gonna do. So this was the set of suggestions that was yeeted at the developers for April Fool's, and there's some kind of fun vehicles. Why not go over them? The first vehicle is the Sukhoi Su-47 Burkett, or the Golden Eagle, as it was known. This, of course, was a kind of demonstration aircraft, which first flew on the 25th of September, 1997. The vehicle itself has access to a lot of interesting stuff. First of all, two Soloviev D30 F11 afterburning turbofan engines, which gave it access to quite a lot of speed, 1400 kilometers an hour, or Mach 1.12 at sea level, and then also at altitude, Mach 2 capable, which is quite fun. Had some quite aggressive G limits, and also at the same time, just has a very interesting design. First of all, the thrust vectoring of this vehicle is plus or minus 20 degrees at 30 degrees per second in pitch and yaw. This, of course, would mean it would be able to flop about all over the place, and also, according to some sources, the Su-37 was treated with radar-absorbent material in order to reduce its radar signature. However, the airframe itself has no specific features characteristic of true stealth aircraft that would more significantly reduce its radar cross-section. The vehicle did have access to a conformal weapon storage, but obviously no weapons were used on this vehicle since it was more of a demonstrator. Even though stuff like this generally wouldn't really make sense in the game because of its demonstrator setup, we do have the AK-141. So anything is possible when it comes to Russia. The next vehicle is the British Aerospace EAP. This is the Experimental Aircraft Program, and basically what this vehicle is a demonstrator. The British Aerospace Experimental Aircraft Program has its roots in the late 1970s and early 1980s, when the concept of a new generation European fighter began to take shape. During this period, the United Kingdom, Germany, and also Italy were exploring the possibility of a collaborative aircraft development program. As part of this effort, the Agile Combat Aircraft Study was initiated, laying the groundwork for what would become the EAP. British Aerospace took the lead on the EAP project, supported by contributions from Messerschmitt Bolko Blom in Germany and also Aeritalia in Italy. The project's purpose was to test and evaluate innovative technologies that could be used in the design of future fighter aircraft. The UK government, along with industry partners, provided funding for the program. Construction of the sole EAP prototype, registered as ZF534, began in the mid-1980s. The aircraft was rolled out at British Aerospace's Warton facility in April 1986. Its first flight took place on the 8th of August 1986, with Dave Eagles, a test pilot for British Aerospace, at the controls, where its capabilities were demonstrated. Throughout its testing, the AP explored various advanced features and performance metrics, providing crucial data and insights in future designs. The flight test campaign ran until the early 1990s, during which time the aircraft completed hundreds of sorties and achieved remarkable speeds and maneuvers. The data collected from these flights directly influenced the development of the Eurofighter Typhoon, which became one of Europe's most successful multi-role fighter jets. By 1991, the EAP project concluded, and then the prototype was retired. Basically, the armament of this is non-existent. It didn't have access to a gun, it didn't really have access to missiles either. It only could really carry ones which were mock-ups on the vehicle itself, showing where they could technically hold. So even though it's something which is kind of interesting in terms of a development project, it's not something that, once again, could really fit in War Thunder, since it didn't have access to a lot of internal stuff. Unless You look at the AK-141 again, which is a vehicle which is kind of similar to it, not entirely, but close enough. The next vehicle is the Apocalypse tank, the RA-3. The most powerful tank in the world, the Apocalypse tank is the pinnacle of Soviet armor engineering. Unlike its counterparts of the previous timeline, this pre-nuclear Apocalypse tank is powered by a massive Tesla reactor mounted onto the rear of the turret, which while cleaning up 70% of emissions, still churns noxious black smoke as it crawls into the battlefield. Additionally, it lacks the SAM launchers of its counterparts, meaning it is very vulnerable to CAS. Designed by the Arkhangelsk tank plant in northern Russia, the Apocalypse tank was promised to revolutionize armored warfare, rendering all other tanks obsolete. While it can outfight any tank, its slow speed and expensive production means it could not quite live up to these bold claims, and requires support from anti-infantry and anti-air vehicles, while the cheaper Hammer tank remains the mainstay of the Soviet armored corps. The Apocalypse tank became a mainstay of Soviet propaganda, its form inspiring terror in not only enemy forces but even Soviet troops who served alongside of it. The Apocalypse tank is armed with two auto-loaded 125mm cannons, able to destroy the Allied Guardian tanks in a single volley, and the Shuka magnetic harpoon, allowing it to pull enemy vehicles towards it, or it towards them if the subject is too heavy, where they are cut down by a deployable grinder. Along with this, it can simply run down lesser vehicles, its heavy treads and grinder crushing them. It lacks any form of anti-infantry defense, and as such must rely on the mobile sickle walkers for support. The Apocalypse tanks is armored with a 16-layer composite armor, able to withstand even the experimental energy projectiles of the Harbinger gunship's proton collider cannons, and is equipped with a massive passive repair system, allowing it to repair damaged components and also armor. Unfortunately, the Apocalypse tank is slow. Very slow. It's 33% slower than the Soviet Hammer tank, and can be outrun by any competing vehicle. Its magnetic harpoon can make up for this slow speed by simply grabbing them from afar and pulling them in, though it is unable to use its main guns while in this mode. We also have the Type 27 TAFV, the JGSDF's tactical fortress. Plans to further upgrade the Japanese tank fleet emerged around 2012 to 13, which also revealed that Japan was working on its own active protection systems, one of which became a successful prototype in 2015, and plans to mount it on a Type 90 and also Type 10. In 2025, new documents emerged that the Type 10s were to be equipped with the German Strike Shield ADS and an RWS, improving the existing fleet to compensate for the aging and slowly retiring Type 90 series. The improved Type 10C entered production in 2025 and was delivered the same year, and in 2024, the JGSDF issued a requirement for a new escort vehicle, a modern infantry fighting vehicle design, and a specialized anti-drone vehicle. These were to fully or partially replace outdated systems such as the Type 87 SBAG, the 93, and also the 89. Due to increasing tensions in the region and the lack of suitable alternatives, the new platform had to be both easy to maintain and quickly produced. A modified version of the Type 10C was chosen as the basis, equipped with the Strike Shield active defense system, and also a dozer blade to simplify production, maintenance, and repair. A new turret was developed for the TAFVX. The main armament is based on the 35mm of the Type 87 SBAG, which was a further development in cooperation with Germany and became a cost-effective solution for near-indigenous licensed production of the similar 35mm KBA found on the Skyranger 35. To ensure anti-drone capability, the JMD-062 round, a derivative of the Ahead ammunition, was introduced, supplemented by 4 Type 91 Kai manpads. For anti-tank defense, the vehicle relies on APF-STS and 4 AGM-114L Hellfire missiles. And additional sensors improve situational awareness, and the radar system of the Type 87 SBAG was adopted and modernized with K-band AESA arrays. After 3.5 years of development, the vehicle was officially unveiled and tested in 2027. It was designated the Type 27 Tactical Armor Fighting Vehicle, and that same year, the JDSTF ordered an initial batch of 86 vehicles. The first deliveries took place in late 2028. We also have the T-84, but this is the Super Oplot-TH. The post-T-80 tank era witnessed a drive toward diesel alternatives due to the evident shortcomings of gas turbine engines. Initiating various projects in the mid-70s, Leningrad Kirov Plant and Omsk Transport Engineering Design Bureau explored diesel options like the Object 219RD and the 644. However, focus remained on the gas turbine engine, supported by Defense Minister Dmitry Ustinov. Simultaneously, Kharkiv Morozov Machine Building Design Bureau started work on the Object 278 with a 6TD 1000 horsepower diesel engine. Yet it was overshadowed by the more advanced Object 476 and also 478M, equipped with more advanced systems but abandoned due to cost concerns. Post-Ustinov's demise in 1984, the Ministry of Defense turned serious about diesel-equipped T-80s. In 1985, the government approved the diesel-powered T-80U project, resulting in prototypes like the 478B and the 478A. Despite initial issues, the 478B variant entered service known as the T-80UD in 1987, later showcased in the 90s Moscow Victory Day Parade and 91 Soviet coup attempt. KMDB's initiatives led to developments like the T-84 Oplot, featuring a welded turret, and advancements like the Object 478D with the INET fire control system. The Object 478DU4 gave rise to the T-84 Oplot, which had the 125mm caliber gun replaced with the 120mm able-to-fire NATO ammunition. Trials and prototypes, like the T-84 120 Yatagan for Turkey, showed their efforts to adapt the NATO ammunition and electronics. Before the USSR's dissolution, the Kharkiv factory continued its T-64 platform's development, eventually producing the T-80UD with an opposed piston diesel engine, which later evolved into the T-84. Over the 1990s, further enhancements led to the famously known BM Oplot, with a ton of modernizations, including Western-derived technologies, solidifying its position as a formidable modernized Soviet-style tank. The Royal Thai Army's 2011 order of 49 Oplot-T tanks faced delivery delays, leading to reports of a potential shift to Chinese VT-4 tanks by 2017. However, Ukroboronprom confirmed the successful completion of the 2011 contract by March of 2018, finishing the delivery of the final batch to Thailand. After more than 15 years in service and numerous missions, it was decided in 2028 the new battle tanks had to be purchased, ideally from Western or domestic production. Several ASEAN countries presented their concepts for new models, but ultimately none of the proposals were convincing. Either the offers were too expensive or did not meet the requirements. Easy maintenance, modern sensors, greater firepower than the previous VT-4 and T-84, and a hard-kill APS system. In spring of 2029, a comprehensive modernization program for a new variant of the T-84 was launched. This initially received financial support for the construction of a prototype and a promising prospect for serious production. In April 2030, the first prototype of the T-84TH was presented and handed over to the Royal Thai Army for testing, and after extensive testing, the Army decided to officially purchase around 161 new T-84 Oplot-TH and modernize 39 existing T-80 BM Oplot-Ts. Parallel to the new MBT, the development and production of the new 125mm ammunition was approved, and thus the first domestic APF-SDS, the THAP-1, was commissioned. The first delivery took place in 2032. Shortly after the entry into service, other ASEAN countries also expressed interest. Indonesia, Vietnam, and Malaysia placed orders for 120 TNs, 70 TVs, 9 TTMs as well. The purchases were approved and deliveries began in good old 2034. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.